You're only doing nice questions.
Okay, that makes sense.
Only nice questions.
Okay, yeah, I was Filipino, so.
Oh, yeah, be careful.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit nervous.
I would
Just say goodnight to my daughter. We're talking to each other.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kill a little bit of time here, but I think we'll have to get it going.
Yeah, I think my, just, I think what I would say is they will be asking why they do this. I know it's a competition.
Just say, hey, Jonathan, this is your question.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, it's 10. Figure it out. I asked if Fiona wanted me to call in, or I don't even know who's producing. Is it Chanel?
Chanel's off, or Chanel's doing sports today, but Alicia.
Alicia? Yeah. To work with Chanel tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. He's doing the meeting tomorrow. There's a day when you guys both do that. Yeah. So funny. I think that was our first time we get the desk together. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's so funny. Yeah, for all those that know, they're like, oh.
It's really fun sitting. They're in the hallway.
Everybody gets candy. We'll take it.
Everybody, we'll get going here in about 20 seconds or so. Oh, that's okay. It's just, if I had a thought to look on the other side of the door, I would have found you. Jonathan, do you want to? Yeah, come on up. Sure, John. So, John, I'm just going to go back. Absolutely. That's right. Melanie, good to go? You want to come on? Yes, please. Hi. Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Constable Jason Doucette. My last name is spelled D-O-U-C-E-T-T-E. I'm one of the media relations officers here at the Vancouver Police Department. This morning, we've brought our partners in from the BC Ambulance Service, the Canadian Canadian National Fireworks Association, and our friends at the Vancouver Fire and Rescue Services. We're going to be talking about Halloween safety here for the 2018 Halloween season. So what's going to happen is I'll say a quick few words because I'm up here already, and we're just going to go down the list, and then at the end we'll take any questions and do our best to answer them for you. So the Vancouver Police and its partners are reminding the public of some simple Halloween safety tips. We're asking people to use common sense when picking out a costume. We want you to ensure that any fake weapons are obviously imitations. We want you to be visible. It's very important that others see you, especially drivers on the road. We want you to use fireworks responsibly. It's up to you to figure out and learn, educate yourself about what's legal and what's not. It's a real safety hazard out there. Our partners are going to talk about that, but from a policing side, these fines start at about $500. We're reminding drivers to be patient and to slow down and not to drive impaired. If you're going to be consuming alcohol or cannabis over this weekend, we're asking that you plan ahead and plan for a ride home. We're going to have additional officers out in the Granville Entertainment District and throughout the district, we're going to have additional officers out this weekend in the Granville Entertainment District, throughout the city, parks, schools. And we're just going to make sure that everybody's playing by the rules. We often do see an increase of calls on the Saturday night leading up to Halloween. Last year, between 5 p.m. and 5 a.m., to give you an idea, we're over 70% increase in calls over the previous Saturday. We are asking people, if you see anything suspicious, anything that doesn't seem right to you, please don't attribute it just to Halloween. Give us a call, call 911 or your local police, and we will come and investigate. I'm going to turn things over to BC Ambulance Service Paramedic Chief Marilyn Oberg.
Good morning, everybody. Every year we come forward to the public and we ask very sincerely, please be visible. It's a very busy night. If the weather's inclement, visibility goes down. If you can do anything to encourage your children to be seen, no jaywalking, glow sticks, flashlights, anything to make yourself more visible, and also the mindfulness to understand that everybody's in a rush, everybody's very excited, and we just really want you to be safe because we care very dearly about you. So have a happy Halloween, and thanks all for coming, and please take care of each other, all right?
I'm Jonathan Gormick, Jonathan Gormick, Public Information Officer, Vancouver Fire and Rescue Services. Vancouver Fire Rescue Services wants everyone to have a fun and safe Halloween, and we need to remind everyone that you need a permit and to be 19 years of age to purchase, possess, and use fireworks. They only can be used on private property, and people should be reminded to keep them away from structures and vegetation. Please read and follow the directions on fireworks and always wear the safety equipment described. We're working closely with retailers this year to ensure they're checking for permits and proof of age and only selling authorized products, and visiting stores both in uniform and plain clothes to ensure compliance. Our teams will be out over Halloween working with the VPD to make sure fireworks are being used safely and legally and issuing fines of $500 to those found in violation. To address some issues identified last year, we've teamed up with the Vancouver School Board to get messaging out to students and parents about safe firework use and the dangers of allowing underage access.
Hello, I'm Melanie Sutherland, and I'm the Executive Director of the Canadian National Fireworks Association, also known as the CNFA. And CNFA is pleased again to be working with EMS, with police services, and with fire to help that we have a safe and happy Halloween for those participating in the celebrations this year with fireworks. And just to reiterate a few points that Jonathan's already made, when it comes to purchasing and using consumer fireworks, the age requirement is 19 and older. So it's very important to leave these actions to the adults. And many may not realize that in Vancouver specifically, their age requirement is in fact 19. So for adults purchasing fireworks, please make sure to keep them in a clean, dry, safe area away from children. And then when you're ready to do your show, please do it yourself and let the children or the people under 19 enjoy it from afar. It is important to be aware of the fireworks bylaw requirements, and to highlight a few points. Remember, fireworks can only be used on private property with the permission from the owner of the property, and that you need to get a permit from the city's website and present it to your vendor at the point of sale to purchase your fireworks. And also, please remember, fireworks can only be used on October 31st. Lastly, reading the labels on individual products and following the instructions is key. The label will give you tips such as how high the display will be and the distance your audience should be standing away from the display. And if you have any additional questions about how a product is used, please feel free to speak to your vendor and ask information directly to them. They should help you with that. And also, you can explore CNFA's website. We have some how-to videos for specific products, as well as some tips, some safety tips, and that can be found at nationalfireworks.ca. And thank you again for having us this year. And on behalf of CNFA, we hope you have a safe and happy Halloween. Thank you.
So if anybody has any questions, just feel free to maybe identify the proper person that you think can answer them for you.
So this weekend, I mean, you can say fireworks are only supposed to be used on the 31st. We all know that it happens from now until Halloween. So what are you going to do to prevent people from using them this weekend? I mean, I've already heard tons of them going off in my neighborhood.
This is directed at
Police, I guess.
We're reminding people just to go to the city website and familiarize yourself with the rules. Things like bottle rockets, Roman candles, they're not legal. So you can get a fine for up to $500. We're going to have extra resources on. We're going to be going near schools, playgrounds, responding to calls for service. So if people are disturbed by fireworks, you think there's unsafe environments, these things are going on, our officers will attend. We will be seizing, that's one of our options, is to seize fireworks, issue tickets. But our number one thing here is public safety. We want the public to enjoy Halloween responsibly.
Why not ban them? Some cities have.
I think that's a question better suited for the city.
Maybe a question for Jonathan, just on a follow-up to that. We talked to Surrey Fire Department. They are quite proud of their ban. They say it's been very successful in reducing incidents of vandalism and fire damage in that community. So why not in Vancouver?
We've certainly looked at banning as an option, but we firmly believe, and the evidence points to the permitting system being successful in decreasing the amount of dollar loss, property loss, and fireworks-related incidents. The use of fireworks is so culturally ingrained in Vancouver that the city feels that banning it would just drive the sale underground and push those wishing to obtain fireworks to illegal sources such as Craigslist and other online sources where they get product that's not certified for use in Canada, not legal, and not safe. By allowing a legal channel that involves permitting, education, and enforcement, We feel that we can let people who are possibly going to use fireworks one way or another at least have a safe way to do it with some regulation.
There's a perception that it's a bit of a Wild West, though, on Halloween in Vancouver with fireworks going off all the time, and there's still a lot of firework calls and calls for damage because of fireworks. And in places where there has been a ban, like Surrey, things have calmed down a bit. Is that an accurate perception?
Well, I think the piece that's missing from that is that it has calmed down in Vancouver. If you look at the years before we had the permitting system in place, I think the call numbers were high, the damage was high, but consistently year after year, we've seen a drop in call volume related to fireworks, and we've seen a drop in the dollar value of any damage related to fireworks. So I think that's inarguable evidence that points to the success of the permitting system.
And when did that stricter permitting come into play?
2008, 2009-ish. I'm not sure, but towards the end of that decade.
A question for Marilyn, perhaps. You've, I'm sure, seen every type of firework-related injury out there. As you know, some kids think it's a phase to go through fireworks, experiment with them, and perhaps they need a bit of reality on what type of injuries and how severe injuries fireworks can cause.
The fireworks, obviously the explosion injuries, the soft tissue injuries, we find that there's kids that are unsupervised with sparklers. That's on fire. It's, I don't know how many degrees it is, but it burns you, and you're set to run free. So I think there's an engagement to all people who are around fireworks to understand that there's not only the injuries that come from being burned or struck with things, it's also the injuries that happen from people who get scared from them and they run. Also animals have a terrible time during fireworks times because they'll run and then the owners run after them. So again, it's an alarming thing, a firework. If it's done in an appropriate area, okay, that's fine. But yeah, the injuries we see are burns. We see lots of falls. We see trips and falls. We see slips and falls because everybody's in a hurry. But definitely with the fireworks, we've seen some pretty nasty things.
In recent years, it jumped onto my. I seem to recall a couple of years ago there was a girl who lost an eye or something like that.
Yeah, I can't speak to details, but I know that the legends are true. There are really horrible things that happen, and again, it's not accidents are accidents. So a little bit of pre-planning can create a little bit more of a safe zone. I as a child myself, I remember running around the fields, and I do remember getting burns, right? So I guess we just need to be just a little more thoughtful about what we're putting in the hands of our children.
I know speaking of animals, the SPCA would like fireworks banned because of the impact on animals. I don't know who would want to react to that. Maybe the fireworks representative. Surrey's banned them. Lots of cities have banned them. The SPCA wants them banned. What's your reaction to the growing calls to just say that this just shouldn't be happening at all?
So I myself am a pet owner, and although the reality is we can't eliminate all loud noises, he reacts to things such as a fire truck or a motorcycle. So how I like to react with him is just keep myself calm, keep him as calm as I can, and I take my own preventative measures that I could just only say to give tips to those with animals as well, just to prevent with any types of noises that I like to do. So it's just during the Halloween season, it's keeping your TVs turned up and loud and noises for background noises, exercising your animals earlier in the day, and just really your animal will lead after your example. So if you remain calm and you act like it's any other night, they will follow your lead on that.
What do you think about the fact that a big city like Surrey is banned?
So there has been a ban there for a little while, and you can still go to that municipality on Halloween and hear fireworks going off on Halloween, and you don't know what type of products are being used because it is banned, so they're getting their hands on it from one way or another, and it's eliminated the opportunity for us to go in and educate people on proper use and what products they should be purchasing and where they should be purchasing it. So it's just, we don't really know what products there are there now.
That may be true, but the fire chief in Surrey will tell you that, yes, you still hear fireworks, but you can't argue with the numbers. The number of fire calls and calls for fireworks-related vandalism has dropped dramatically since they introduced their ban.
I think, just going back to Jonathan's point as well, there's other ways to do it, and in Vancouver, we found the permitting system to be a good way to combat that issue as well.
Jason, in my neighborhood, now I live in North Van, and I think it has sort of the same system. It's almost all kids with fireworks. Can you find $500 to a 16-year-old? Like, how do you get the message across to young people? They don't have $500. Do you find the parents? Do you tell young people that their parents will be fined? How do you get across to young people? Because in my neighborhood, and I think in a lot of places, that is who is using them.
I think it's through education. Education is preventative. As Jonathan spoke to earlier from the Vancouver Fire and Rescue Service, they are liaising with the Vancouver School Board to provide education to the students to what's safe, what's appropriate, what's legal, what's not. Through social media channels, we're also reaching out, and our partners and other agencies, we're getting as creative as we can to let people know the restrictions, what the rules are, and the safety hazards around it. Can we issue fines to those people? Yes, we can. Do we every time? No. We want to provide education and work with them to help prevent this in the future. Our number one thing here is public safety, and we want to take care of that. We want everybody to have a happy and safe Halloween.
You take them away if you find teenagers with them?
We can take them away, yes. That is one of our options.
Jason, was there a call just last night? People in downtown Vancouver, reports of what they thought were shots fired turned out to be unauthorized fireworks. Can you tell us about that?
There was. We received a call, I think it was around 1:30 in the morning, 1:45 of shots being fired, multiple shots, quick succession. Our officers were in the area. We had lots of members downtown last night, and we were able to confirm through a variety of methods that it was indeed fireworks, including Twitter, because somebody was tweeting it out, and the time all matched up. But we did take the precautions. We took it serious. We did an area search for people. We checked our records for additional calls. We liaised with our partners at BC Ambulance, and there was nothing to say that anybody was injured and that they were actually shots fired.
Is that frustrating as well? Because it's hard to know the difference. The public hears bang, 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 and they call police.
We encourage the public to call the police. When they hear something that they feel could be a risk to the public, we want them to call, and we want them to feel comfortable calling. We have a job to do a search to make sure that everyone is okay.
Just turning away from fireworks for a moment, if I could, this is Canada's first Halloween since cannabis was legalized. And is there any concern, any enforcement being stepped up on that front when it comes to children and candy and cannabis?
Since October 17th, we haven't seen a huge shift in our normal policing activities here in Vancouver. We are going to have additional officers with a visible presence in the downtown entertainment district along Granville Street and Gastown. We're asking people to use responsibly. It's the same as alcohol. Plan ahead. Don't drive impaired. We are going to have roadblocks set up throughout the weekend looking for impaired drivers.
Equip tool to actually figure out if they're driving high in marijuana?
Yeah, it's still business as usual. We've been investigating impaired drivers for many, many years, and that includes with the use of drugs, including cannabis. We've got hundreds of officers, over 100 officers that are trained in standard field sobriety tests and some drug recognition experts. This stuff stands up in court, it's court tested, and we're very comfortable and confident that we will keep our roads safe. Any other questions for anyone else related to Halloween?
One more, we just heard from overnight, shots fired near the number 5 Orange.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
I just had a question. Any advice to parents about checking candy and that kind of safety? There have been cases in the past where there's been needles and dangerous materials found in candy, so just advice to parents in that regard.
I'm not aware of any sourceable facts about candy being contaminated here in Vancouver in my time, say in the last 10 years around here. But common sense prevails. Have a conversation with your family that there's lots of time to eat the candy. On the road and going door to door probably isn't the time to do it. If your child needs a snack, send them out with a snack, and just set some ground rules and explain why, and enjoy a safe Halloween. Did you have anything to add for the trick-or-treating stuff?
After we've got a little kid.
Oh yeah, this is a good part.
We've got a little child dressed up as his father.
If we don't have any other questions at this time, I'm just going to play a quick video that we put together with the Vancouver Fire and Rescue Service, and then after that, we'll just continue on. Just watch your head there. You want to come this way?
We want everyone to have a fun and safe night. Here's some tips to make it the best Halloween yet.
If your Halloween celebrations include consuming alcohol or cannabis products, please plan ahead and plan a safe ride home. If your costume includes a weapon, please make sure it's easily and readily identifiable as an imitation. Oh, God.
If your little ones are trick-or-treating, make sure their costumes have reflective tape, glow sticks, or a flashlight. Anything to help them be seen by drivers. Use face paint instead of a mask, and always stick to well-lit areas.
Drivers, please slow down on Halloween night. The streets will be busy with excited little trick-or-treaters who may not remember to look both ways before they dart across the street.
If you plan on using fireworks, make sure you have a permit and only buy from an authorized retailer. Always set off fireworks in open areas and always away from combustibles.
For more Halloween safety tips, go to vpd.ca. From the Vancouver Police Department
And from Vancouver Fire and Rescue Services.
Happy Halloween!
That video is on our website, and we did send out a press release since we've all been standing here. We're going to press pause on the Halloween stuff. I'll take any questions and try to answer them related to unrelated matters, and then we'll reconvene afterwards. We've got the cutest kid in the world here, dressed up as a paramedic, and we'll go from there.